Let's bring in Jeff Judkins, head coach of the women's basketball team now, get his opinion on all things sports related. But first, you have women's or girls basketball camps going on right now on campus. How's that going?
Yeah, it's good. It's going good. You know, we have 4 camps here at BYU, and we do pretty well. I think most of the camps here really do a great job of letting the student athlete or the camper enjoy their atmosphere and their time here at BYU. And you know, one of their big highlights is going to Cannon Center, you know, and eating whatever they want, all they want. And so this morning I had to give a little lecture saying you can't eat all ice cream, you know, and that's it. You got to try to do a balanced meal. But
tell that to Brian, man.
You know, he's got guns here, man.
You don't get
the ice cream goes straight to his arm
right here. This is Gushers though, Coach. Not ice cream, but Gushers.
But it's been a really good thing for us, and I enjoy doing it.
When you look at our Twitter question today, what could be the biggest win in the 2015 season? You've got some great names: Nebraska, Boise State, UCLA, Michigan, Missouri, among others. What do you think could be the biggest win for BYU this season in football?
Well, I think a lot of it depends on where they're at when they play these teams. So I would say, and this, you know, to me, probably Boise State, because
really,
yeah, because it's close, and all we do is hear about how Boise State's better than BYU in football all the time. You hear it, and so it'd be nice to have them beat them. But one thing I do know, over the years I've been here at BYU and seen Coach Mendenhall and his staff, they always play a good first game. They're well prepared. They usually can beat anybody on a first game. They beat Oklahoma that one year. They beat some other people that were really good, and I think they're very good at it because he has the whole summer to prepare. And then, of course, you know, with some experience that he has, the quarterback especially, he's got a big advantage. They're going to be ahead of everybody else. So that'll be a big game. Virginia's the first game, is that right?
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
So, you know, that I would say that one probably, because I think if they can beat Nebraska and get a really good start, they can cause some damage.
That's what Jerem said. You're agreeing with Jerem. I said Missouri only because they're more towards the end of the season, and so
yeah, it might mean more, huh?
Yeah. Well, as far as staying nationally relevant and in the discussion, conversations, momentum towards the end of the season, that's why I feel like, you know, that's a more important game than the first.
It's going to be a great schedule, man.
That's the fun part, is that you have a bunch of these games.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, man, what a schedule. You know what? And I say it's hard. You don't realize how hard it is to do it, but you got to give Tom Holmoe a lot of credit for this, of really how he did it, and hopefully we'll come on top.
When can we expect the women's basketball? I know non-conference and conference are kind of announced separately.
The non-conference is done. We're playing Texas A&M. We're playing Oklahoma. Nice. We got Colorado State. We got Utah. We've got Penn State, Georgia.
Look at you, lining up on P5.
I know, I've scheduled. I've overscheduled, but you know.
Do you tell that to Bronco? You're like, listen, you may.
You know, I've overscheduled, but you know, as a player, and I'm sure Logan, when you played, you want to play good teams. Yeah. You don't want to play crappy teams. You know, you want to play good teams. So
that's your scheduling mantra.
That's how I look. I mean, I've got to win so many games. Yeah. And you got to figure that out. But I've got 4 A's, okay, and usually you want 2, maybe 3. But I've got one of them 2 of them on a neutral court, so that's to our advantage.
Where are you going for the Thanksgiving?
We're going to L.A. or Northridge. You need to go on that trip. We played Penn State and Georgia on that trip.
That's the one right there.
I'm there, man.
Yeah,
I'm there.
Friday, Saturday, buddy.
So breaking news: some big non-conference games from Jeff Judkins. Awesome. Speaking of your team and a former alumna, Jen Hamson, now in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Not getting a ton of time. I think 4 minutes and then, 2 minutes, I think, in game 2. But what have you thought of her performance?
Well, you know, I went and watched her practice for 3 days.
Nice.
And she's playing for a great team. Brian, you know, their coach, the head coach, is a good coach and really good guy. And he's got high expectations for Jennifer. I'll tell you right now, she's way ahead of a lot of these guys in the post, defensively and offensively. When I watched them, she knows how to play it. She's hopefully learned from good coaches, but I think she's going to help them when it comes down when she gets a little more experience. She's got to play a little harder, you know. She's got to play with more energy. But I think she's going to help them. They got her outside a lot. They got her setting picks on the ball and passing, and surprisingly, you know, she's always been pretty good at that. but I kind of used her in the low post mostly. But she's doing really well out there. I'm real happy for her.
Have you had a chance to talk to her?
Yeah.
And just give her some of that advice?
Yeah, I talked to her when I was there. We were going to go to lunch, but traffic there was ridiculous. And,
Horrible.
In LA? What?
Yeah. So, but I've tweeted her a couple times. I've called her.
Isn't that funny that it's someone you can text or but you tweet and that's maybe how they see it?
Yeah, but she's so excited about it. What a great opportunity! And you probably heard Morgan Bailey is going to Portugal. And she's playing on a really good team. The coach called me last week and is really excited. I told the Sparks coach, I said, if you lose one of these girls, I'm just telling you, Morgan can post up as good as any of them, so you might want to look at that. But so she's going to go to Portugal, and hopefully she'll do really well, and then she'll move up to a little bit bigger league. Jen's going to play overseas also after her WNBA. She's going to probably go either to Turkey, Italy, or Russia as kind of the places that she's been looking at. So
Nice.
great opportunity for these young ladies. So.
Fantastic. You're just firing news at us left and right, man. We didn't know all this stuff. This is great.
Yeah.
Speaking of news, last week it came out the NCAA rule changes. You're going to play 4 10-minute quarters, among other things. What do you think of those rule changes?
This is the NBA. This is what I'm excited about. 4 quarters. Now you only get 5 fouls. It's 2 shots, no one-on-one. Some of these teams that count on getting the foul line a lot, it'll be different. You have to manage the end of the clock a lot better. Go 2 for 1 like you watch in the NBA finals now. You see them going 2 for 1 and doing some of those things. You got to move the ball to half court, I guess, in the last minute or something of the game, which will definitely change a lot of strategy, what you're trying to do. And then, of course, the post move, now you can put your arm as long as it's not extended. So I'm going to teach my post players, especially some of my stronger ones, to be able to do that. So exciting time.
Are there other rule changes that you liked as well?
You know, I haven't really looked at all of them. You know, I kind of just heard about it. And Dan, my assistant coach, he keeps me up on it. He kind of told me a little bit. There's a couple I'm not really sure of yet that I just have to just go through. And we'll make sure we have an official come early in the year and explain a lot of this stuff to us.
The ones that you are aware of, do you see them affecting you guys and how you're coaching in a negative way?
I think it's positive.
Oh, positive.
Because I've played it. I know it, and that's to our advantage, I think. But it'll be interesting. You know, I mean, the boys have changed their 30 seconds. Thank goodness. You know, I mean, thank goodness. I mean, 30 seconds for women is like the NBA 24. It really is. I mean, you break a press, you get there, you got a few seconds to run. You know, I'd like to see the boys get to 24 eventually, but I think 30 is a great jump for them. You know, the game will speed up.
Isn't it interesting that in several things, notably the shot clock, and then I think the quarters eventually with the men, that the women lead the way in the NCAA in terms of rules? Why do you think that is?
I think they're more willing to try to get our game better. They're willing to do things to try to do it. I think the men, you know, they have it going pretty good with the NCAA and all the things they're doing. And there's, you know, maybe they just feel like more coaches feel like it's more equal. You know, I mean, you think about it right now. If the NBA was playing college rules, LeBron James would not get 40 a night. They'd box and want him the whole game. They'd run 3-4 guys through him, deny him everywhere, make him back at. That's what they do. Now they can space the floor out, clear aside, and he can go one-on-one, and the best player in the world.
As declared by LeBron James yesterday.
He is. There's no question he's the best player in the world. Yeah. He can control a game well enough. A lot of people asked me the other day, said, why do so many people, and it's really true, people love LeBron or they hate him.
Yeah.
There's no in between. I said, this is what I think. LeBron scores one-on-one. It's a clear out. It's not in the offense, flow of the offense. And so everybody thinks he's a ball hog. Mm-hmm. That's what they all think.
Michael Jordan was the biggest ball hog.
But Michael Jordan was in the offense. They ran the triangle offense, and so everybody was moving.
Him, right?
But what happens with LeBron, you saw it. He gets the ball on the left side, and everybody clears out. And I think people look at this and say, he's selfish, and people don't like selfish players. And so that's how they do it. People don't realize he's probably one of the most unselfish I mean, he's
triple-double machine.
Yeah, he would soon pass and score, but he has to score.
If he had actually good players around him to pass to.
Now, Curry is a little different. He takes really hard shots, but he takes them in the flow, so people don't think he's a gunner. But really, if you look at some of the shots that he takes, him and Klay Thompson, you're going, what are you taking that shot for? You know, that's a bad shot. But it's in the flow of the offense. And I think that's what's so important when you're judging teams and players. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem, Dr. J, all the guys that I remember were great players. They all did it in a system. Anthony does it in his own way, you know. What's Steph Mulberry, whatever, he was a big scorer. Yeah, you know, Dominic Wilkins. They all tried to do it. People think they're selfish. It's the teamwork. But you know, I mean, you see a lot how it means to these guys. I mean, LeBron. I mean, he's playing hard. I mean, this is not like just a jump in the park here. You know, he really wants to win, and I hope he goes Game 6. Cleveland wins. Because I think Game 7 is
Friday night.
Game 7 is one of the most exciting
opportunities
for, you know, and really almost anything.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Good luck with the girls' basketball camps, and thanks for telling us about Morgan, Jen, and the schedule. Can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great season.
Yeah, it should be a really fun season. And then, of course, with the new arena being fixed, we're excited about playing that and new scoreboard. And it's just going to be a great year. BYU basketball is up on the rise, and we're real happy about everything.
Great stuff. Coach Judkins,
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate the time.